Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Show Me Your Deck, the first episode of a series I've been dying to do where I go through my favorite decks with the hope of eventually interviewing other YouTubers and people with decks they love and enjoy to talk about the cards, the gameplay strategy, and goldfish a few hands. Let's jump right in. Hey, thanks for stopping by. I appreciate you checking out a video about my favorite deck, my first real EDH deck of all time, Chatterfang, the Squirrel General. If you like my content, if you want to see more of it, please like, subscribe, let the algorithm know that you enjoyed this little channel, and it should stick around. It helps more than you know. So this is a different kind of video for me. I've been talking about how I play Magic the Gathering, but I figured it was time to show you my bona fides and that I actually do play and that I love the game itself. This is my favorite deck. This is my Chatterfang deck. It is my premier showcase deck. I have been slowly upgrading my other decks like my Dragon, like my Captain Inkthrod deck, like my Pantlaza deck. There's a lot of different decks that I have. My Dragon is in this beautiful box crafted by my brother. It's exceptional. We'll do that in another video at some point. But for now, I want to talk Chatterfang, and I want to kind of work with you guys a little bit to build this format of video. My goal, because there are a lot of great YouTube personalities that I follow, I don't want to name them here right now because I don't want to give away my hand of who I'm trying to reach out to, so if it never happens, you know I failed. But there are definitely some YouTubers who I'd be very interested to hear about their favorite decks, the cards within them, and the stories behind how they built this deck that they love. So I have this custom box made, my first ever, with a little Chatterfang logo that I designed in there that just says, "It's gonna be nuts," with bones behind the Eggcorn, which is repeated again in this box on the interior as well. It's kind of hard to see with the light there. This is number one because it was the first of the boxes these guys made. I saw them on Reddit and thought, hey, I definitely want to have a box made by you guys. So they did a custom logo in there. They sent me some stickers. It's an awesome box. It's super useful, and it's all in one. I have my tokens right here as well for the deck. The first squirrel token ever from Unhinged, Unglued, Unsanctioned. I forget which one this came from. It was 1998. Then I have various tokens here. Magic 30, I tried one pack, did not do very well at all. So I make tons of different tokens in this deck, as you would expect, and it's nice to be able to have a spot to hold all of your tokens within the box. So let's dive into this deck, what its purpose is, and what the commander does first and foremost. If you haven't heard about this incredible commander, it's called Chatterfang Squirrel General. He's actually a Golgari commander. He has green and black in the identity. By having it in the text box, that is enough to create a color identity that gives it both colors. Legendary creature, Squirrel Warrior. It has Forest Walk. If one or more tokens would be created under your control, those tokens plus that many 1/1 green squirrel creature tokens are created instead. That's a replacement effect, which, by the way, this gets pretty complicated as the deck goes along. So I'll explain the difference between a replacement effect and a straight up token doubler or things of that nature, because it does matter for near infinite combos and some cool things this deck can pull off. This, though, I didn't appreciate when I first built the deck, and now the whole strategy is built around this sacrifice mechanic. You pay 1 black, sacrifice X squirrels. Target creature gets plus X minus X until end of turn. That is so useful. It gives this a little Yawgmoth effect. It makes it where as soon as I have enough squirrels and mana, I can interact at instant speed over and over and over again, which makes this Golgari deck incredibly interactive and dangerous for other creature strategies. So I've enjoyed that quite a bit. I've actually toned down the deck a little bit because it got so strong and so good, my friends didn't enjoy playing against it. So I removed a lot of the tutors that made it so predictable and started to build it out in a more random way. I got rid of infinite combos. Of course, you could easily put, Sanguine Bond and Exsanguinate or Exquisite Blood, whatever that combination is. It's a 2-card black combo I'm putting on the screen right now. I've removed boring combos like this. Yes, I'm playing to win, but this sits squarely within that level 4 deck. It's a very powerful level 4, but it's still level 4. It's not CDH, and that's quite deliberate and by design. I got these awesome sleeves at the first Magic Summit in Salt Lake City. I went to Dragonsteel 4 years ago, and at the same time, the summit was the day prior, and we showed up in Salt Lake City a day early, so we went to go check it out. And I got these sleeves, and they've been holding up ever since then, and I'm glad because I play this deck a ton, and they've actually aged pretty well. So I'm going to pause for a second here and pull out some cards for us to, actually, you know what? Like I said, we're working out the format. There's no reason for us to be hyper specific about how this has to play out. So I'm actually going to flip this here. Ooh, we'll start right here. That's a great way to begin. And I might need to adjust in a way to showcase these cards. Oh, that'll do. So you can see them without bad glare. If I left this in, we really are going for a more relaxed style of video. If I cut it out, you'll never know. All right, so this deck obviously wants to make a lot of tokens. So I have Parallel Lives in here, this awesome treatment I got from Wilds of Eldraine. It was an awesome pull, and of course, it was the beginning of where anime was becoming sort of the major pull icon for modern Magic sets. We also have this beautiful Driven Out of Carnage Dominus. Love that card. It increases my death triggers. So I can't go through all 100 cards at that speed, so we'll have to go through pretty quickly. I'll pull out some of the cards that I really enjoy. Command Tower in this awesome Galaxy foil. This is the secret lair I was talking about when I did my video right here, that Saturday morning cartoon where I was opening up the new Galaxy foils and how terrible the foiling looked. Turns out I wasn't the only one. I had seen nothing online about that. I was totally taken aback by it. And it seems it's a persistent problem amongst this set from Secret Lair, the new one. This is how it should look. I mean, look at this. Double sleeved, and it's still beautiful and shiny. So also, Second Harvest, an amazing token doubler spell. So that you'll see there's categories of cards I have in here that are meant to either create tokens very quickly, protect my commander or bring him back from the dead, to be interactive and to slow down my opponents if they're trying to get in my way, and then also any way to make a token. Colony Garden is one of the best cards in my deck. It's like 60 cents, no one cares about it, but if Chatterfang's out on the battlefield, I'm getting a land out, I'm paying nothing, and I'm getting a plant on the battlefield. If I have Chatterfang out, one of my token doublers, Peregrine Took, who's going to make a food token in addition to another replacement effect, which is important to note, then it will be an incredibly powerful free spell, essentially. Although it comes in tapped, when you could have a tapped forest, so it does essentially cost 1 mana to pull that off. So we'll make a pile for the lands here, which will help speed things up a little bit. Oh, Verdant Catacombs. Tarkir is when I realized I should be recording my box openings. I'm opening too many boxes and not recording it for posterity's sake and to share with you guys. So I decided to start recording after I went so heavily into Tarkir. And luckily, I got the Verdant Catacombs. I'm very happy with that land. It's beautiful. Arcane Signet from that same Galaxy foil treatment I was talking about before. A lot of the cards here are pretty special. I think you'll be surprised with some of the treatments I have. It is, like I said, a PEC deck. And I'm sure others have nicer decks than mine, but this has been a persistent mainstay in my collection. So, you know, whenever I find a cool card that fits in Chatterfang, it goes in. Black Market Connections, also a very good card. This awesome Ravenous Squirrel, a really, really powerful card in this deck. I want to sacrifice squirrels. It's what I do. I produce a lot of squirrels. I rarely swing out with this deck. It is a pure aristocrat style deck. So when I'm sacrificing 15, 20 squirrels, this thing becomes a 20-20. And it becomes really powerful and a huge problem to deal with. And it also lets me draw a card, which is super useful while pumping it up. So a very niche card, but you know, in a lot of decks, there are niche cards that are just amazing in yours and kind of forgettable in others. Kindred Dominance, of course, this is a squirrel deck. Swarmyard Massacre, when this came out in Bloomborough, oh, a Meat Hook Massacre, but better for squirrel tribal. Heck yeah, Saw in Half with the squirrel treatment. When I was opening Infinity, Saw in Half, I mean, was just, it's an incredible card for Chatterfang. Creating more tokens, which creates more squirrels, while either doubling one of the things you have on the battlefield, like a Mitotic Ooze, or something else. It's just, it's an all-star in this deck. Culling Ritual, one of my win cons, it works really well. It's a great way to get a ton of mana very quickly and to really push the game out of control. Phyrexian Tower, of course, a great sacrifice land. This is the Meekstone in the Kaladesh Invention, signed by Steve Argyle. I met him in the first Dragonsteel as well, and that's back when Dragonsteel with Brandon Sanderson was really small. So I mean, he had lines of maybe 10 people max. I was able to just walk up and keep getting stuff signed. So once I met him, we talked a little bit. I went to a local game store in Salt Lake City, found this card there luckily, and went back to get him to sign it. It's one of my favorite cards of all time, and it buys me time. This deck, when it was perfect, could have Chatterfang being a real threat by turn 2 or turn 3, but when I redesigned the deck, I needed more time to get to turn 4, you know, somewhere around there, where he starts really getting lethal, and I had to slow down my friends. One of them has a really powerful Urza Construct deck, and this is a great way to slow them down to make sure I don't get too many constructs coming at me at once. So that's one of the more special cards in the deck. Galaxy Foil Swampies, I love these lands. Squirrel Sanctuary, another great squirrel-specific spell. Oh, I forgot to mention, my set, my Secret Lair, does have a slight crimp on it. Let's see if you can see that. See, there's some crimping up there. One of them in particular has a really bad crimp. But still a cool thing about it. Squirrel Sanctuary, Chatter the Squirrel. I learned about what Secret Lair was when I got this. I was so excited to find out there were new specialty secret cards. And back then they didn't do as many Secret Lairs as they do now. Really powerful card here as well. Again, any way to make squirrels makes things better. Blood Artist is one of the cornerstones of this deck. Any Blood Artist effect, when I get to kill something and then get a benefit in return, like gaining life and having someone else lose life, is how I win games. This, with Pitiless Plunderer, which we'll get to soon, is one of my main strategies. If I get out Blood Artist, if I get out Mirkwood Bats, and I have Pitiless Plunderer out, which I'll show you the text of very shortly, you'll see that it's not infinite, but as long as there are creatures on the board, I will be able to create as many squirrels as the toughness present on the board doubled. Because at the end, I can sink in 50 squirrels to give plus 50, minus 50 to a 1-1, and it'll still trigger. And with Pitiless Plunderer, that creates 50 new treasure tokens, so 50 new squirrels at the end. You get a token doubler out there, and whew, you got a stew going. Road to Return. This is a little bit of a CDH-y card, but I do need it because Chatterfang is so constantly targeted. This helps bring him back. Aether Vial. This was my first Kaladesh Invention card, and man, it still looks great. These things, if these were coming out today, I guess they sort of did, come to think about it, with the big score cards in Thunder Junction, which I lovingly call Thunder Junk. It's a great set for artifacts, and it didn't really get the same hype that I thought it would for these kind of artifacts. They're expensive, more than these in some cases, but it's not like people are chasing them in a really deliberate, obvious way. Asika's Chariot, a great card. If you know, you know. It's just very powerful, and it can copy any token that I have. That's perfect, right? Any token strategy green deck is going to want that. Emrakul's Evangel. This is one of my cards. For me, that is why this is really a pet deck that's not built to be CDH. I'm playing it for fun and the love of the game, because it's a pain in the ass to get off. It's slow. It takes at least 2 turns before it does anything. But when it does, imagine you have 20 squirrels on board. This goes out, and I'm able to tap it the next turn, sacrifice it, any number of non-Eldrazi creatures. Then I get to put a 3/2 colorless Eldrazi horror creature token onto the battlefield for each creature sacrificed this way. Now just think for a second. Combo that with Chatterfang. All 20 squirrels go away. This triggers. It creates 20 3/2 colorless Eldrazi tokens. If I have a token doubler, it'll be 40. If I have 2 token doublers, it'll be even more. And then Chatterfang sees all these tokens being created and then makes more squirrels than you sacrificed to begin with. It's out of control. And if you have Mirkwood backs out, it's game. It's just such an incredible combo. But it's slow, it's projected, and you have a turn to counter it, which is why I love it. It feels very fair, but when it hits, it's just incredible. Cabal Coffers, of course. 3 Tree Cities. This is before I had, you'll see my favorite card in this deck. Is that right behind it? It is. Ooh, man, I had to sell cards for a month on Card Conduit, just finding things to get rid of to save up for that card behind there. 3 Tree City. It is basically like a Guy's Cradle for 1 creature type. And when I'm only really making squirrels, this thing is incredible. And when it runs, it just sings. It is incredible. It's a great card, but even better than that, Guy's Cradle. I just got this a few months ago. It was a huge grail for me, and I've gotten to play it a few times and to tap with it. In this deck, it's just busted. Guy's Cradle, I know is not banned, but in this deck, if built properly, it should be. There's a reason why Guy's Cradle is a CDH staple, and now that we lost Dockside Extortionist last year, more and more decks have put Guy's Cradle and Guy's Cradle-like strategies into play to try and compensate for that loss of mana. So, man, oh man, this is, I can't say enough good things about this card. It's wonderful. I had a chance to buy it back when it was like $450 3 years ago, and I didn't because I thought that was too much money. And I was right, that's too much money. But being able to trade in a bunch of cards that I had sitting around for decks I never built, it was a great way to get this on credit from Card Conduit. Not a sponsor, but just a really cool thing that I was able to pull off. I got into hand-painted altars as well. So Woodland Cemeteries, this is a gorgeous altar. This was originally just a basic card like this. Then somebody took it, they painted around the borders and then added a little bit of styling there to give it more flavor and feel. Really cool. Big fan of hand-painted altars. You'll see a few of them throughout this deck. Twilight Mire, Fellmire, Nested Shambler. Take a second, read this card. Tell me, why do you think this card is so busted with Chatterfang? Okay, so Chatterfang is so good. I missed this interaction for the first couple times I played it. Chatterfang gives creatures +1, -1. So if I have 5 squirrels and I kill 5 squirrels in order to kill this, that gives it +5, -5, which means that when Nested Shambler dies, create X tapped 1/1 green squirrel creature tokens, where X is Nested Shambler's power, which means I'm making 5. And if I activate that with Chatterfang on the board, I'm making at least 10 squirrels for 2 mana. 1 black mana to cast this, and then 1 black mana to activate Chatterfang's ability. You can just see how this deck gets wild and out of control. By the way, not expensive card, just amazing in this deck. Some of my favorite kinds of cards. Torment of Hailfire, this is a last-ditch effort. WinCon in here. Vine Reap Mentor, this is a great card from Bloomborough as well. When it enters or dies, create a tap food token. So for that ability, I'm playing a Golgari to be able to get it out in the battlefield, and then I get a food token if there's a squirrel. If I have Chatterfang out, then I get a squirrel as well. It's just super useful and plays super well in this deck. Here's the Soul Ring. That, you can really see the crimp up there. Let's see if I can get that. Oh, there it is. See it? A little bit. Kind of hard to see. It is crimped. Much more obvious in person, but beautiful Soul Ring. Very cool Galaxy foil, and look how obvious it is. It's so clearly a Galaxy foil. You know, it's a shame the new ones were so poorly done. Pitiless Plunderer. This is a key to my strategy. If I have this in my opening hand, I almost don't care how bad the hand is, I'm going to keep it. Whenever another creature you control dies, create a treasure token. Whenever that occurs, so I sacrifice a squirrel, it dies, triggers this, creates a treasure token. Chatterfang sees that treasure token, boom, you got yourself another squirrel. By the way, like, comment, let me know if you like this format. Is it boring? Are you interested in the cards I'm talking about? Do you like this more free-form styled video? It's obviously not as polished as my other ones, but I just want to talk about this deck. I love this deck. I want more people to play Chatterfang. And also, I wanted to talk about building fun decks. I have had this deck be tuned to win, but that's not fun. People groan when it comes out. You need to build it in a way where when you win, you've gotten a few pieces together, your friends know it's coming, and you've been able to pull it off all the same because either you interact or you just get there a little faster than you typically would, and it's a surprising fun game. Just like when you have Soul Ring in an opening hand, it can change the entire complexion of a game. That's how this feels. The right draw makes this thing insane, but I have times where it's just a dud, my friends know it's powerful, and I'm the first guy out on turn 4. That can happen. Orcish Bowmasters. This card, by the way, in the formats I play, where there's not that much drawing, and we have a lot of people, you know, trying just to build up big boards or do more traditional Magic things, it's not great in this deck. I'm debating taking it out. It would do amazing in CDH, of course, where people are drawing their entire decks. It's a counter for Thassa's Oracle. You can see why Orcish Bowmasters is a mainstay in CDH. But level 4 casual commander amongst my pods, I might take it out. Either way, Showcase Scrolls, though, like I told you, I was buying this stuff back when it was still at a reasonable price, like $350 a box. So I held on to them and been very happy with that. Massacre Girl, Known Killer, same thing. Whenever it comes out, I always don't really like it. It sounds cool. Menace. Creatures you control have Wither. Whenever a creature an opponent controls dies, if its toughness was less than 1, I get to draw a card. I mean, the card draw is pretty cool. I don't know. I just never feel like this is as impactful as I'd like it to be. So it's probably going to come out soon. Toxic Deluge, obvious win con when I'm going to get rid of creatures, and I want them to die anyway. And I have sack mechanics on board, so, you know, if I have my payoffs like Blood Artist, and I wipe the board and myself, it's a win con, very easy. Skull Clamp, love this. Skull Clamp is the most broken card in this deck. For the converted cost of 1 to get it on the board, then 1 to equipped, I could draw 2 cards whenever a creature dies. I have done this where if I've had plenty of squirrels on board or Pitiless Plunderer, I could draw my whole deck. It's infinite draw at that point. Really great card, really fun to play. Maze of Ith, this helps me survive a little longer when big things are coming after me and I'm trying to build up my squirrel state. All right, I might have to speed up a little bit here. Looking at the time of this video, it's already running long, but I'm hoping you're enjoying it. Let me know in the comments below. I have more decks to show, and if I were to interview somebody, it would be much more tight. I'd probably limit it to the top 10 cards. Then we would talk about your gameplay strategy, and then we'd goldfish a few hands, probably like a 15-minute video, and you'd get some commentary back and forth about their history in Magic, and I think it would be just generally interesting. I just started YouTube a month and a half ago. I'm celebrating 100,000 views with this video. I should probably have said that up front. So I decided I just wanted to make this one for me. If it does well, great. If not, great. I'm still very happy to talk about my favorite deck. Awaken the Woods, this thing is busted, especially when I have Guy's Cradle out or some big mana producer. You just create so many tokens, and those tokens tap for mana as well. Just an amazing, amazing card. Bastion of Remembrance, an incredible return rate when I can get a 1/1 creature on the battlefield, which Chatterfang loves, plus it's a Blood Artist effect. All-Star in this deck. Many Partings, another All-Star. I get to search for a basic land, and I get a token if Chatterfang's on board. I'll say it again, All-Star. Obscuring Haze has saved me and won me more games ever than almost any card in this deck. If you control your commander, you may cast this spell without paying its mana cost. Prevent all damage that would be dealt this turn by creatures your opponent controls. Definitely powerful. This is great too, creates tokens. Another great token manufacturer here. I'll just keep going through these. Legolas's Quick Reflexes in that gorgeous Surge foil. Split second, I can untap target creature, give it hexproof, and reach. This is how I save Chatterfang. You're trying to target Chatterfang to get rid of him. 1 green mana is all I need to make this pop off. A great protection spell. Dismember, super useful. I don't mind losing my life. It's a black sacrifice deck. I'm more than happy to pay the 2 Phyrexian mana and 1 to make this happen. Treasure Vault only ever pops off once or twice, but man, when it hits, it's just, it's amazing. I'm making tokens, so I'm getting more squirrels, and then if I have token doublers, it's just a badass. Pippin, Warden of Isengard, also great. I can create a food token for 1, so repeatable token generation, which is necessary for Chatterfang. This was my first really expensive card. This is my Jeweled Lotus textured foil. Absolutely stunning. My friends and I rule zeroed that it's staying in. I know it's banned in Commander now. Hit me in the comments. It's fine. We play a meta that Jeweled Lotus isn't really a problem. It's like having a Soul Ring. It's going to be a little faster. And honestly, typically when I have this, I get Chatterfang out early, it gets removed, and I don't do shit. So it's not really as good as it sounds in this deck. It's better suited in like an Ur-Dragon deck or a higher cost commander like my Sauron deck. Grave Pact. Actually, I'll put that over here because it looks so nice. Grave Pact. Also a really good card. Whenever a creature I control dies, each other player sacrifices a creature. This works for almost an on-demand board wipe for anybody trying to build up a board state. Really enjoy that. Ashnod's Altar, probably my favorite hand-painted altar in the entire deck. Look at that. Man, I like to imagine this kind of laboratory is exactly what the artist was imagining when they made this card. And it just, whoever did this, I wish I knew the name. That's their logo. They sell on eBay. Look, I warn you, if you want to buy altars on eBay, you have to sift through a lot of like, I don't know what the right word is for this, just a lot of girls with big boobs. It's kind of tough to find cards that you'd actually put into your deck if that's not your thing. Look, no shade if it is your thing, good for you. It's just not my thing. So finding cards like this can happen, and they're just stunning. More of the Forest, Deadly Rollick. I mean, if I have my commander out and it's Chatterfang, he's cheap. I almost always have him out. This is great removal. Swarmyard, awesome for any strategy that heavily relies on a creature. That's an insect, rat, spider, or squirrel. Dead Marshes and that awesome Surge foil. Hey, this is why I talk about the first set of Lord of the Rings being an analogous set to the new Final Fantasy set, because the Holiday Special Edition tanked these cards. These were exclusively box toppers in the first set, so very hard to get. And then they just printed them as pulls within the next set, and it did tank the market. It's recovered mostly now, but it took a long time for that to happen. More of the beautiful swamps. Another awesome hand-painted altar. Chatterstorm, really great card, especially when I have my cheap mana rocks and I have ways to cast these cheap 1 to 2 to 3 cost spells. This can be a really potent spell, especially, again, with token doublers out. Mirkwood Bats is just broken for any sort of token strategy, especially one that revolves around treasure tokens, because you sacrifice them, each opponent loses 1 life. How great, right? Overgrown Tomb, I used to have this in the Galaxy foil. I sold it and got this one. I regret that choice to this day. Spawning Bed, really cool card again in token strategies. The Shire plays really well. Create a tap food token for 1 in the green. A bit expensive, but it's better than having a basic forest. Meathook Massacre, obviously a great card if you don't know what it does. Whenever a creature you control dies, each opponent loses 1 life. It becomes an enchantment after you play it. That's helpful for me, having more Blood Usher effects. Whenever a creature an opponent controls dies, I gain 1 life. So it's a really powerful spell when it comes out, and it's a great board wipe into an effect that really matters in my deck. This is my Bayou Revised Edition. It was in such good shape, I had to get it authenticated twice, because it looks perfect. It must have been kept like in a binder or something the moment that it was pulled. But man, this thing, it was so good, I was worried it was fake. But no, it's been authenticated twice, it's legit. But the color, everything about it is just on point. Academy Manufacturer, another broken card. I think this might have just gotten added to the Game Changers list, and with good reason, especially in a Tokens Matters deck. Overgrown Stadium, Yavimaya Cradle of Growth, of course, Yawgmoth, just in case I need more ways to sacrifice. The card draw is the real reason why I have it in this deck. Takenuma, we got more Swamp, Path of Ancestry. Pendelhaven, it's basically a forest, which I love. I sometimes give my 1/1s a +1/+2. Oh, excuse me, my 1/1 single creature a +1/+2. I just like having it in here. I think it's great art and it's a cool deck. Ooh, a cool piece of tech. I'm going to do this right now live. I just got this awesome Compy Swarm, and I'm going to replace it with this. I got it for Chatterfang. Ooh, it was a big moment. My buddy gave me this at one of the law firms I worked at. He went to a pre-release, he pulled it, gave it to me. I'm still keeping this card. It's going nowhere. It's sentimental to me. But this is my showcase deck, and if it's going to be a showcase, it's got to have showcase cards. Stand by as I go and get a perfect fit sleeve. Oh, this already has one? It was just coming out. Already has the perfect fit. Oh, it's a big moment, guys. Big moment. Beautiful emblem just put into this deck. And by the way, looking at these, the emblem cards are skyrocketing. This had a buyout. There was only a couple listed at like 70 bucks. It's now over 200. We'll see if it goes through at that price point. I think 1 or 2 sold. I'll check and put a little note here at the bottom to confirm. But another great card to add in. Gala Greeters, super powerful. When I'm going off, even on turn 3, I often activate all of these just from all the squirrels that are coming into the battlefield. Another great hand-painted altar. Look at that. It's so smooth, so seamless. The color match is perfect. I love these. These are hand-painted altars are really becoming a thing for me. Westvale Abbey. I rarely get to pull it off, but it's fun. Cryptolith Rite, I just recently added, obviously, because it's from the new remastered set of Innistrad, but creatures I control have add 1 mana of any color. I've won games because of this. When I have that many squirrels, it's like you get to have double Gaia's Cradle. You tap your Cradle for all the squirrels you have, then you tap your squirrels. I mean, if you have a deep mana sink card, this is just busted. Poison Tip Archer obviously needs some removal on board. Doubling Season, that's another one of my doubling effects. I got this one from Salt Lake City as well, that first year. That was a big year for Magic for me. Necrotic Hex. This is really good as well. Each player sacrifices 6 creatures, and then I create 6 tapped 2/2 black creature zombie tokens. Again, it's asymmetrical for Chatterfang because I'm going to sacrifice 6 squirrels. I want them to die anyway. I likely have a Blood Artist effect out. I likely have Chatterfang out. So then I'll create those 6 squirrels again, and I get the 2/2 black zombies. It's just an asymmetric board wipe for me, or at least high sacrifice mechanic. It gets rid of Eldrazi, it gets rid of dragons. If you have 6 or less creatures, it's a board wipe, and I get my squirrels back and some zombies and more token entries. It's just insane. Really good. The Post Malone Jet Medallion, super cool. I like the Post Malone Secret Lair. I'm one of the people who like that kind of stuff. I have no shame in it. I think it's cool, and I like that Posty plays Magic. Bitter Blossom, this is a busted card in this deck. Getting a free trigger of Chatterfang every upkeep, even for the loss of life, is well worth it, and this treatment is super cool. Another great example of these arts that I have, Deep Forest Hermit. This is a really powerful card in my deck. This is from the Bloomburrow treatment, so I love that it has the Bloomburrow logo, and it's a gorgeous altar. Look how good the color match is, right? Isn't that astounding? I'll zoom in. This one does have the artist signature. Again, you can find them on eBay. I highly suggest you do, even though we might find ourselves bidding against each other one day. Support these artists, man. They're incredibly talented. Green Sun Zenith. This is one of the few tutors I do still have in the deck, and if I'm in dire straits, this will go get me a Mirkwood Bats, it will get me a Pitiless Plunder, and it'll give me a chance to win the game. Fabled Passage, signed by Howard Lyon. He's a Brandon Sanderson favorite for art in a lot of the leatherbound books that he's been doing. So whenever I go to Salt Lake City and I have more Howard Lyon cards, I ask him to sign them. He's a really cool guy, and he'll stick around and talk with you. It's great. Lightning Greaves, this one also has the crimping there. You can really see it at the top. Very deliberate, very noticeable. Gorgeous. Very obviously a Galaxy foil. Who knew? Gilded Goose, another great card in my deck. Mana fixing and creates tokens. The One Ring Borderless Poster. This I also got when I was in Salt Lake City the second time I went for SanderCon or Dragonsteel. And boy, oh boy, I'm so happy. I got this when it was $119. Look at it now, it's $500. And it's just gorgeous. A gorgeous card, and it actually has a decent placement for the sticker. So all around a great example of a revolutionary card. It's super powerful, and it gives me the extra turn I need in order to build out my strategy, and also helps me fix if I'm missing that Blood Artist effect or the like. This gives me a better chance of drawing it each turn. Pest Infestation, another great card for Chatterfang. I'm creating tokens while destroying stuff, so I get to get rid of squirrels, make more squirrels. The cycle continues. Vamp Tutor is the only tutor I've kept in the deck. Dom United. This was one of my first pre-releases back into Magic, and pulled this card. Obviously, it's a gorgeous treatment. The price has fluctuated quite a bit. I think it's cheaper than it should be right now at like 70 bucks. Either way, love this card, love this treatment. This is from the great and powerful Richard Kane Ferguson here. All right, 2 more cards, Valley Rock Caller and Shelob's Ambush, and that is the deck. Whew, lots of talking, lots of conversation, but that's Chatterfang. It's an incredible deck. I hope you liked seeing my cards, some of the things that I've worked very hard to accumulate and build and take care of. There's a few edits I'm going to make to this deck shortly. Like I said, I'm probably getting rid of Orcus Bowmasters, and I might put in the new Gaia's Cradle land that I got from Edge of Eternities, and then I might also get rid of that Massacre Girl known killer. I think I might swap that out with this cool Yawgmoth's Will I got from my buddy. Yes, it's gold bordered, but I do intend on getting the full card soon. Our pod's rule is if you have the card, you can proxy it in, or if you agree on it beforehand, you can just do a proxy. This is a great middle ground. It's a real Magic card, but it's at a great discount compared to what I would pay for the actual Yawgmoth Will. So if I like the way it plays, if it fits well in the deck, I will get the full card. But for now, those are the changes I'm going to make, and I think it's going to be strong. So I'm going to make those quick changes and move over to MoxField, and then we're going to do some goldfishing. All right, guys, we're back here on MoxField. Not a sponsor, just the way that I like to goldfish my decks now. I've been slowly adding them from TCG, the app, onto this platform. It's just a really easy way to get good, clean, random draws and quickly go through some hands to see how some additions worked. So as promised, I did put in that Yawgmoth's Will, and then I did not put in the new Gaia's Cradle land from Edge of Eternities. Instead, I put a pretty mid card in from Final Fantasy. Sephiroth Fable Soldier, perhaps you heard of him. He is going to be awesome in this deck. For only 3 mana, I have a chance of converting him into an emblem that gives me permanent Blood Artist effects. Wow. I mean, that's perfect for Chatterfang. Any Aristocrats deck is going to want it, but it's going to play super well in this deck. So take a look at this. I'm going to put the link in the description below. Let me know how you tweak it, how you might make it better. I think this is right where I want it to be, but I'm always interested in finding new cards that I haven't considered that might make my gameplay just a little bit better without making it to the point where it feels unfair and too powerful. All right, let's play test some hands here. All right, this looks like a decent start because we have a Soul Ring and Compy Swarm and Dead Marshes. Wow, this is really good. Do I have a way to actually start my token generation? All right, this is the one risky hand. I have basically 3 to 4 turns before I need to find a way to create a token. If Figure died, I mean, this is decent. This could help a little bit, but it's not a guaranteed token maker. You know what? Let's take the gamble. Let's draw our card for turn here. We're going to play the beautiful turn 1 Twilight Mire. Now, if we don't want to make ourselves a target, I'm not going to play a turn 1 Soul Ring. But I say let's go fast. Boom, we're going to tap this. Let's bring in a Peregrine Took. Peregrine Took is really important to my deck. If 1 or more tokens would be created under your control, those tokens plus an additional food token are created instead. So this is another replacement effect where it doesn't let it go infinite. It's not when you make a token, you get a token like Chatterfang. This is when you get a token, you get that many tokens plus 1. So it does limit it, but it's very helpful because as soon as I make a squirrel, Chatterfang sees that, makes a squirrel. Peregrine Took is going to see me make that squirrel twice and add an additional food token onto that pile, and then Chatterfang sees that and it makes just 1 extra and the loop stops. So it doesn't go infinite. It was confusing when I first played it. I thought this was an infinite loop with Chatterfang after you make a token, but it doesn't. It replaces the effect and ends the loop right there. What an excellent turn 1. Getting a 3-drop out right away, very good. I'm happy with how this is going. Moving on to the next. All right, tough choices here. I think I'm going to play my Dead Marshes, and then we're looking at 4 mana. I could play Chatterfang and get him out, or you know what? Let's do this. I'm going to get more benefit from this anyway. We can play Jet Medallion, so my black spells cost 1 less to cast. Chatterfang is a black spell, so now I can tap here. I'm going to use that to filter into the Twilight Mire to pay for that green that I need. So now Chatterfang only costs 2, 1 colorless pip, and a green. So I did that to filter into here, and now we have the mana necessary. We did, let's just do 2 green for balance's sake. Chatterfang is now out. On turn 2 with Peregrine Took, this is an amazing start to the hand. I'm very happy with it. Let's go to the next turn. I am a bit of a target, so I should prepare myself for that. And beautiful. As I was just saying, I'm a bit of a target, so we're going to tap for 2. And we're going to put a Lightning Greaves onto the battlefield and equip it onto Chatterfang as soon as possible to try and protect my commander and avoid any shenanigans because I'm clearly becoming a target at this point. So, pretty good board state. My commander is protected. 2 layers of removal are needed to get him off the board. So now I have 2 mana left, nothing to cast right now. Oh, well, actually, again, it's a black spell. Wow, this is going way better than I would have expected. So we're going to add 1 here. We're going to filter that in to the Golgari color combination required, and then we're going to play Compy Swarm. Now we're in really good shape. All I have to do is make 1 token, and we're golden. So hopefully next turn I have a way to generate a token and start getting it to sacrifice with Chatterfang to make more Compy Swarms and start a Scoot Swarm like Storm. All right, next turn. Oh, Takenuma, not great. Actually, return it from a creature graveyard to your hand. No, it's not going to do what I need it to, but I might play it just so I have the mana available, and that means we're going to do Torment of Hailfire, I think. If I do Torment of Hailfire for 2, I don't want to kill Compy Swarm in order to make this happen. See, this is a huge problem. One of the big things with Chatterfang is I need a way to generate a token. So it can't be understated. That risk I took by not having a way to make a token without some sort of extra step is a problem. I can't create a token with Yawgmoth, but what I can do is sacrifice another creature, put a -1/-1 counter on a target creature, and draw a card. Maybe I sacrifice Peregrine Took. It sounds dramatic, but I think that might be the way to go. I have the mana. Okay, so if I'm in a pressured position in the board state, I'm going to play Yawgmoth. We're going to use only 3 mana to pay it. All of mine are swamps because of this. So we're going to tap for that. We're going to tap for this. And we're going to tap for my Soul Ring with 1 floating because he's 1 less. I'm going to do the -1/-1 first. So I'm going to pay a life. Let's just give a -1/-1 to somebody. We're going to sacrifice Peregrine Took. Kind of a ballsy play. But since it died, at the beginning of my end step, if a creature died this turn, create a 1/1 tap token. Now, if there was a 1/1 on the board, maybe there's another way I can play this. Of course, who knows what could have happened that would change the complexion of my board state. It's Goldfishing for you. So now we get a copy of Compy Swarm, which is really cool. I really like that. We're going to add a counter on that and just make it 2 so we know we have Compy Swarms. And the best part is if we do this again, it'll copy. That comes in as a token, so now we get ourselves a beautiful Squirrel token. Bring the Squirrel token in, and now we're looking at Chatterfang sitting pretty with 2 Compy Swarms, 1 Squirrel, and black mana up in order to make this work. Oh wait, I didn't tap. Sorry, no, I'm tapped out. All right, so that's a pretty good board state. I like that. We're ready to go. Let's get one more turn in to see what we get. See, a Jeweled Lotus, not great, doesn't matter. We'll leave that there. Maybe if I have Chatter Storm, it could be useful. Maybe we go for it, get a little Hailfire, but I have no Blood Artist effect here. So I might want to start drawing some cards. So maybe we can do that here. Oh, I forgot to draw my card. So I would really actually have Overgrown Tune come out. Yeah, so look, let's restart. Let's go into a new hand. Now, this is already looking like a pretty decent start. I have Pitiless Plunderer, one of my most important cards in my hand, a Vamp Tutor, we have Pendelhaven, we have a Meekstone to slow down my enemies, we have Twilight Mire for any color we need, and we have the Shire. I say go. Let's see how this works. None of the lands, does this come in tapped? It does. So we're going to let this come in tapped, and we're going to move on. Do we want to be aggressive? I have no way to protect Chatterfang. There's no real benefit to getting him out right now. I can wait to drop this when I want to play him, so we're not going to be aggressive. We're just going to go, say go, and move on, not draw too much attention. Get into Dead Marshes again. I like that a lot. We're going to play our Dead Marshes, and then we're going to Vamp Tutor. So let's Vamp Tutor right now, pay 2 life, and we're going to go into the library and pull out. We're going to pull out Mirkwood Bats, which is the best of my Blood Artist effects that I have. Or I could do Sephiroth. That could be pretty cool as well, but we're going to do Mirkwood Bats for now, just because I think it's the right way to go. We're going to bring out Mirkwood Bats, Vamp Tutor, it puts it on top of my library, so that'll go here for my next draw. We're going to close. I think we're just going to pass turn and try not to look threatening. Yeah, that's the play. Pass turn, try not to look threatening, next turn. Oh, we got our Ravenous Squirrel. I love to see that. Wait, that's not true. I did that in the wrong order. Oh, no. Wait. You go back. I need to go get my Mirkwoods. All right, I fixed the problem. We now have Mirkwood Bats. We're ready to go. I'm going to now, I think at this point, we only have 2 lands out. We're going to play Pendelhaven. We're only on turn 3, so we've had a pretty strong start to the game so far. I don't mind that so much. Let's, right now, we're going to bring out Chatterfang. We're going to play our Jeweled Lotus. We're going to crack it. We're going to bring out Chatterfang. Then we're going to pay 1, and we're going to bring out the Meekstone. Actually, you know what? A better way to do this. Let's get my token generation started right now. We're going to pay 1 and a green, and then we're going to tap this to create a food token. Chatterfang sees that, makes a Squirrel token. So we're going to grab a food token, and we're going to grab ourselves a Squirrel token. We're off to the races. 1 Squirrel is all I need with Pitiless Plunderer to start my combination here. Now, again, it would have been nice to save that for Mirkwood Bats, but it's not a problem. We have the land we need next turn. Let's move on. Try and look small with our opponents. Do not draw too much attention to ourselves and just keep moving. We now have 4 mana and enough to bring out Mirkwood Bats or Pitiless Plunderer. So I think for now, the best thing to do is probably to bring out Mirkwood Bats and just, again, try not to draw attention to ourselves. Act like it's no big deal. It's just a sacrifice thing. Whatever. Move on. Now, here comes Pitiless Plunderer and a Phyrexian Tower. Love to see it. So we're going to bring out the Phyrexian Tower. We're going to bring out Pitiless Plunderer for that 4. We're going to filter that in through here. Actually, we're going to leave that up because it's a good card. And we're going to pay for Pitiless this way. Now, we are sitting pretty. We are ready to create some mayhem on the board. Depending on how many creatures are available for us, we're going to start our Pitiless Plunderer loop. The only way I'm getting the black mana that I need to start my loop is by sacrificing a creature. And I can't sacrifice a creature. Oh, yeah, I can. That'll work. All right, we're going to sacrifice a Squirrel token to Phyrexian Tower to create 2 black mana, those 2 black mana floating. As that happens, we're going to create a treasure token and a Squirrel token because Pitiless Plunderer, whenever another creature dies, I get to create a treasure token. Chatterfang sees that and creates a Squirrel token. So now we're right back to where we need to be in order to make this work. So I still have 1 black floating, which is useful, but rather crack this treasure token. As I did that, by the way, whenever I create or sacrifice a token, each opponent loses 1 life. So at this point, I've created 2 tokens. We're about to start the loop. As long as there is 20 creatures on board, I will get a total board kill as long as everyone has 40 or less life, and I can keep going almost ad nauseum here in order to make sure that my strategy works. With every squirrel that I'm going to sacrifice, this is how the loop works. First, we sacrifice a token. Boom, that goes away. Whenever I sacrifice a token, each person loses 1 life. Then, as I sacrifice a token, I'm going to use that squirrel to go give a +1/-1 to some of my opponent's creatures. That squirrel is going to die as the cost of activating Chatterfang's ability here. Sacrifice X squirrels. Target creature gets +X/-X until end of turn. This token goes away. Now, 2 things have died. That means Mirkwood Bat triggers. Pitiless Plunderer sees the squirrel die. I get another squirrel token, and I get another treasure token. And that is where the loop begins. It's important to note this is not infinite. This is just as long as I have things to drop +1/-1 counters on through my activations. So we'll do that for as many creatures are on board, and this is probably a game win for us. And we'll end up with as many of the squirrels that we've killed and treasure tokens doubled. Because for the final one, actually not double. This will just be the amount of squirrels and treasure tokens that we've put into it. The loop will just end with the amount that we have presently. If I had 2 squirrels to dump into it, it's much better because I sacrificed 2 squirrels. That means I get true treasure tokens, which means I'll have a surplus of 1 treasure token at the end per thing and 1 squirrel at the end per thing. But right now, only having 1 squirrel, I had to start the loop early. I don't get that same benefit. So we'll just end with 1 squirrel, 1 treasure token. But who cares? I won the game. Let's try another hand. Let me know in the comments below. Do you like this? Make fun of the way I'm playing. Let me know if you think there was better strategies. I'd love to hear what you're saying down below. This is the first of the kind of video I'm making where my goldfishing is under scrutiny, and it's really a weird and kind of vulnerable feeling. So let's see how the next hand goes. We have a Swamp, a Seeker's Chariot, Fabled Passage, Maze of Ith, Awaken the Woods, Shelob's Ambush, and a Meat Hook Massacre. This feels good, but I really think I would mulligan it because we don't have any ways to make green yet. Maze of Ith doesn't produce mana. Yeah, I think we're going to mulligan this one. So let's take our 1 free mulligan. Ooh, already looking better. Colony Gardens, one of my favorite land cards in the deck, like I was saying. Getting a free token on the board, and Chatterfang will make a squirrel. We have the Swamp. Aether Vial, which is really good for me to help cast some of my Blood Artist effects for cheaper. Doubling Season, a little expensive. I've found I rarely get it out, and it makes me look too powerful. This is pretty good. It's a little risky. We only have 2 mana to start, and I might have to waste my Colony Gardens before it comes out. But you know what? I don't want to draw down to 6, so let's see how this goes. We're going to draw for turn. Very lucky there with the many partings. But man, what a shame. I guess we're going to play our Swamp and say, play an Aether Vial, and then say go. Oh, couldn't have gotten luckier. Wow, Yavimaya Cradle of Growth just solved our green problem. That is huge. I think what we're going to do now is try and get there faster. Yeah, we have some expensive stuff to do here. I'm going to sacrifice getting that 1 extra squirrel right now. We're going to create a food token. So we're losing the chance to get the Squirrel Chatterfang. But what we are doing is getting ourselves a basic land. So we're gonna go in there and we're going to get, it doesn't matter, let's just do a swamp, because now that means that I'll have my forest as well. That's gonna come out, and then we're gonna shuffle our library. And then we are looking, that comes in tapped. We have 1 black here, nothing else to do but move on. Next turn, we now have enough mana to cast Chatterfang, so we're going to do that. We're gonna cast Chatterfang. I meant to put counters on this. Last turn and this turn, so we'll be up 2 counters. So I can cast a 2-drop for free. We're gonna bring in Chatterfang now. Doesn't really matter. We're gonna tap all of it. Then we're gonna play a Colony Garden. That's gonna create a, oops. We're gonna play a Colony Garden. That's gonna create a 0/1 green plant creature token. Chatterfang's gonna see that and create a squirrel token. This is going exactly how we want it to go. It was a bit of a risky hand to start with, but Yavimaya really did save us. Each land is a forest in addition to its other types. And now we have 4 mana for next turn to bring out the 1 ring for some protection, and you just love to see it. And we're gonna uptick this 1 more time to get to that magical 3 or 4 number. On to the next turn. Let's see, we have a swamp. Let's get the Shire out here. I have my legendary creature, so it comes in untapped. That's wonderful. So we're at 5 mana. What a thing. 5 mana, I might, look, we have options here. We can play the 1 ring and play it safe, but if the board is a little slow, let's make them sweat. So we're gonna uptick this to 3. We're gonna play a doubling season, and now we are a real threat. And now we're a real threat on board, because what I'll probably do next, if I have no way to make a treasure token, is I'm just gonna tap untap creature I control, and I'm gonna create a food token, which is gonna create 2 food tokens, which creates 2 squirrel tokens, and we're off to the races. Final draw, let's see how we do. The land, who cares? We'll just put the swamp out there to keep it neat. At this point, I think we're going to go heavy into the lands and creating tokens. So we're going to tap for 1, 2, 3. Let's enchant this Colony Garden. Whenever I tap it, we're going to create a squirrel token, which means we're going to create 2 squirrel tokens. So now we're at 3 squirrel tokens. 1 is ready to attack, the other is not. I only have 2 mana left here, but I'd rather do it that way. I think that makes the most sense for me. I forgot. We have doubling season, which means we actually produce 4 squirrels. So we're now sitting at 5 squirrels. Things are starting to look pretty good for us. And I think I might uptick this to 4 for the hope that we get Mirkwood Bats and that we can play that for free. All right, draw next. Oh my goodness. You couldn't have said it better. Wow. This is how it goes sometimes. Never didn't have it. We're going to tap this puppy. Mirkwood Bats for free. And now we're looking really strong. I think what we're going to do is we're going to tap this down. We're going to create our 4 squirrel tokens as a result. Then we're going to play the 1 ring for protection. We're going to tap that, add a burden counter onto it, and then we're going to draw 1. We're looking at a Vampiric Tutor. All right, guys, that's game right there. Now we're just going to have a way to just go to town. We're going to go get Pitiless Plunderer right now. Next turn is game unless somebody has a way to stop us. And that's it. I think that's enough Goldfishing. So what do you guys think about this deck? Do you see how it plays? Do you like it? It's a shame you don't get to see the benefit of other people interacting with me, trying to kill Chatterfang. It could slow me down. Of course, this is me going without any sort of contestation, so it's not a real representation of how it plays. But if this is your first time playing amongst a new pod, it might look like this. People might not know how strong Chatterfang can be. Not to mention, I haven't had to interact with anybody. I might have spent some of that floating swamp mana to go destroy a really powerful creature that was a problem for the entire table, get a little goodwill for politicking, and move on from there. But I hope you like this video. It's a long one, I know, but again, I just got 100,000 views. I'm so excited to be on YouTube and be a part of this community and share my Magic experience and thoughts and decks with you guys. This was the first episode of Show Me Your Deck. And I hope to keep making more. I'll make more with my own decks. I will keep showing you my decks for as long as I can until I find somebody who wants to share it with me. And then it will be more of like an interview, and we'll go through their deck, some stories behind it, and whatever sentimentality they have for certain cards or chases that they finally achieved or gameplay strategies they're really proud of. And I think it's going to be interesting. Let me know if you think that's a good idea and if you'd be interested in watching something like that. Also, very curious, I know I do a lot of financial analysis. I do box openings. It's been impossible to get more Edge of Eternities without crazy pricing. And honestly, I'm saving my war chest for Spider-Man. So what do you guys think about this kind of content? Is it fun? I know it's not exactly what I have been doing, but I'm enjoying it. I'm going to keep making stuff that I like to do, and hopefully you guys will like it too. So comment below. Don't forget to like, subscribe, ring that bell, do all those things the algorithm likes. And hey, don't forget the most important thing. Have fun playing Paper Magic with your friends. I enjoyed talking with you today, and court is adjourned. See you next time.